Hey everybody, welcome to the Herd Fit Podcast with Dr. Sam Rhee and myself, Coach David Syvertsen. This podcast is aimed at helping anyone and everyone looking to enhance their healthy lifestyle through fitness, nutrition, and most importantly, mindset. Welcome back to the Herd Fit Podcast. I am Coach David Syvertsen here with my co-host, Dr. and Coach Sam Rhee, and we have a celebrity guest, and I'm going to caps lock the word celebrity. Ananian. I'm saying that right?
Yeah, that's right.
I always get nervous with the last names.
You're good.
What is your label on your radio show? Because I want to first introduce you as that, and then we'll get into you, Ron the CrossFitter.
I'm Ananian, the car doctor. That's how I'm known. I'm
the car doctor.
The car doctor. That started 30 some odd years ago. I was teaching mechanics how to repair cars at night, running classes. And one of the guys that was in the class, he was a little older than me. He wanted to do a radio show as an infomercial about his shop. And, he came up to me and he said, listen, he says, I don't have your knowledge. He said, I'll be the bartender, you be the patron. I can see the conversation like it was yesterday. And he said, he said, I'm going to advertise. We're going to go out to, we went on WFAS AM 1230 out of White Plains, New York. And, we did the show and I remember the whole thing leading up to it. I said, what are we going to call this thing? And we went to dinner with the radio station people and what are we going to call this? And you remember WKRP in Cincinnati? It's an older show from the 70s, if you ever catch it. But they had the goofy sales manager and the ditzy blonde and the cool DJ hip. That's what we had at WFAS, and they were all there. And this is going to be the biggest thing, and blah blah blah. What are we going to call it? We're going to call it the Car Doctor. I said that's the dumbest name I ever heard in my life. I said, why are we going to call it that? But I got overruled. Long story short. We were supposed to be on for 3 months. The show became a hit. Somehow people like listening to me talk. I can't figure it out. And we went on for 5.5 years. At the end of 5.5 years, the radio station changed format, and I had completed the circle of radio, or so I thought, because I got fired. They say you're not on radio till you get fired from radio. So I went home. And if I'm off subject here, Dave, just stop me.
No, it's good. It's okay. It's okay.
And
we got to get the people to know who we're talking to.
So I went home, and about 3 months later, I thought I was done with radio. I really did. I was doing this little 1-hour show on WFAS in Yonkers. It's very tiny. Where could this go? I'm in my 30s. I'm thinking, what is this? Where is this going to lead me? I said to Susie, I said, I want to do radio again. And I said, we must know somebody. It's that 7 Degrees of Kevin Bacon thing. We must know somebody in radio. There's got to be a way. Because I want to be on real radio. I want to be on like WOR or WABC or something. And, true story. And, everybody's married. Everybody knows what this is like when your wife tells you, the Giants are looking for a quarterback. If you go down to the Meadowlands, the tryouts are in 2 weeks and see what they'll, because she's like telling me like, are you crazy? But, you go, yes, dear. And you just kind of, I got home about a week later because I couldn't find anybody to help me do this. About a week later, I go home, and there's a car in the driveway with NYP plates on it, New York Press. I didn't know what New York Press was. I go in, and I'm sitting there, and I'm having lunch. I came home for lunch that day from work, and I'm talking to Katie, my middle daughter that you guys know.
Yep.
Katie was 10 at the time. That's, Katie's, 35 now? That's how long I've been doing radio.
Yeah.
I'm talking to the mother of Katie's friend. They're having a play date, and it was Judy Sheffield. And I'm talking to Judy Sheffield, and we're going back and forth and, kibitzing and stuff. And she says, I hear you want to get on radio again. And I told her about it. And she says, well, maybe I can help. And I looked at her, and I was like, but you're Judy Sheffield. Who is this? And she says, oh, you don't know what I really do. And I looked at my wife, and I went, remember that conversation? She said, yeah. And I said, watch this. I said, what do you do? She goes, well, we know her as Judy Sheffield, right? Remember Judy DeAngelis from Wins 1010?
Yeah.
That was Judy DeAngelis from Wins 1010. I looked at my wife. I said, we've got the #1 morning newscaster in the country sitting at our kitchen table.
Wow.
And one thing led to another. Her husband knew people at WOR. We went to WOR. Well, you need a bunch of money. Where are you going to find the money? I thought it was dead. I thought the dream stopped there. Never say no, right? I've never said no in my life.
Yeah.
I go for bagels every Saturday morning, or I did at the time, and I always wore my raincoat when it was raining. Where's my raincoat? I threw it out. It was all broken. It's all broken. He's like, why do women do that? I don't understand. It was perfect, right? She threw it out. She says, wear the Castrol jacket. I don't want to wear the Castrol jacket. Wear the Castrol jacket. Like she knew. It was just bizarre. It was like such serendipity. I wear the Castrol jacket. I'm standing on line at the bagel store in Ramsey, and I feel a tap at my shoulder. And he goes, is that stuff any good? And I went into this 10-minute explanation of why Castrol was great oil and what it does and blah, blah, blah. As you guys know, I can talk a little bit. Is the show on for 2 hours yet? And he said, you should be on radio. And I said, boy, it's funny you say that. And I explained to him, I said, I'm trying to get back on radio, but I want to go to a real radio station and yada, yada, yada. He said, well, maybe I can help. And I'm thinking, oh, God, here we go again. Here's that. I said, why? What do you do? And he gives me his business card. I look at it. Dave Betris, Castrol North America Director of Marketing.
Oh, wow.
Ooh.
I mean, you just don't get
That's
You can't make
right
that
there.
stuff
You
up.
can't make that up.
Yeah.
2 weeks later, we're at WOR. Castrol puts $750,000 into the show, and we're running for a year.
Wow.
A year later goes by, I'm on WOR. I'm like, holy cow, look at this.
Yeah.
A year later, Castrol changed their mind. Dave left, the whole crew left, corporate changeover, blah, blah, blah. WR calls me up and they said, hey, listen, Castrol didn't renew. And I said, hey, thanks a lot. I got to play quarterback for a year. I really enjoyed it. Oh, you're not coming in Sunday? Hey, guys, I don't have $750,000 in my back pocket. Oh, no, we're going to take the show. Within 3 months, they took the show. Long story short, they took the show within 3 months. They turned me on. They put me on the WR radio network. We grew from 23 to 47 to 75. Within a year's time, we're on 200 radio stations across the country.
Wow.
And it's just grown. In 2012, the owner of WR, unfortunately, Rick Buckley, passed. I thought I was out of the radio business again. But, and I got to give credit to God.
Yeah.
This just doesn't happen. I said my prayers. I say my prayers every night. God wants me on radio for some reason. He really does, because he just creates these moments. Bars changing. So now I'm gone. Rick's gone. iHeart comes in. This is the best. iHeart comes in, right? And everybody that's on is out. Okay. So I'm out. But I'm on, at the time I was on 122 stations or something. Well, WOR to me was just an affiliate. So there's another 121 affiliates that still would carry the show. Mm-hmm. There's an agency in Atlanta that was selling the show. I talked to the agency. They talked to the affiliates and the sponsors. Everybody still wants you. So I just lost this one affiliate.
Yeah.
And it just, we just kind of moved things around a little bit. We quickly, over the course of time, built this $40,000 studio. If you're going to my laundry room at my house, there's a washer, dryer, and $40,000 worth of, it's like that side of the house glows in the dark. And I sit down on Saturdays 2 to 4, and we go out over the airways. Right now we're going to 150 affiliates. We're distributed through Talk Media Network.
Wow.
They put me in the radio business.
That's awesome.
Never say never in life. You never know what So see, that was the radio question.
Yeah, so
that's what happens.
That's really important background information on your personality, perseverance, all that stuff, but just the big picture story of never say never, because that is a big part of what we're going to talk about in relation to you, your CrossFit training, and how that has changed your life, and how you're actually changing, our affiliate. The 5 a.m. Ron is a staple 5 a.m.er, and it's been that way for about 5 years.
Yeah.
And Ron, how old are you?
66.
66 years old. It is the oldest member at our gym. And it's funny how I say that out loud. I actually think that's the first time I've ever said that out loud, because we're big here at Bison. Like, we all know who's younger, who's older, right? Who's been around the block, who hasn't, right? But once the workout starts, like, we're all together. This doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. And
right.
You know what? And the community here, people say to me, what do you get out of CrossFit? You're old. You should be sitting home. Like, what am I going to do? Sit home and knit? It just doesn't work like that.
Yeah. Why did you start?
Yeah, what's your CrossFit start story?
My CrossFit start story is, so my middle daughter, Katie, came back from overseas, and she was doing CrossFit over in Afghanistan, and to stay fit over there. Mm-hmm. And she was doing it here for a while.
She's a badass.
She is a badass.
She's a badass.
Yeah.
She's, and she's on her own schedule and timetable now. But she's like, Dad, you gotta, listen, I wasn't always the stellar, sexy individual you see in front of you. I was kind of beat up. I was, early 60s. I was, I hadn't lifted weights since high school. I treadmilled, I bicycled. I did a lot of machine stuff, but not, what we call functional fitness.
Fit, yeah.
So I started coming to CrossFit. Oh my God, I thought I was fit when I walked in the door. It took about a year, but I finally left my ego at the door, because I just realized there's just things I'm not going to be able to do yet.
So let's even turn it back. Like, let's say when you were in your 20s, 30s, 40s, like you have a pretty active job, right? Like, you're still a practicing mechanic.
I'm on the line every day.
Yeah. So
every day.
Hands, feet, lifting things, pulling things.
20-inch wheels, walking around, carrying them like this.
Squatting, pulling, bending,
all day
hinging,
long.
all that stuff.
All day long.
So you've been pretty active, and that is, to me, that's real functional strength, right? Like, I know guys that can lift, power clean 350 pounds, but they, can't pick up a wheelbarrow and go down their lawn. So you had real actual functional fitness in its actual term definition. But in terms of your actual exercise regimen, your health lifestyle, what was it like in your 20s, 30s, 40s, leading up to CrossFit in your 60s?
Dave, I feel better at 66, and I've said this to you before.
Yeah.
I feel better at 66 than I did at 26, 36, 46, 56, and so on.
Wow, that's rare.
I didn't have a great workout regimen because my life was building a business, building the empire. You know, I would go to work at 3 o'clock in the morning. I would get home at 9 o'clock at night. You know, I didn't have a great work experience in high school.
Okay.
All right. My dad died when I was 11.
Okay.
So I was at 7th, 8th grade. I joined freshman football. I lasted a year on the freshman football team. I got to play twice. I can still see the moment when the guy crossed the goal line as I was trying to stop him, but I wasn't strong enough. You know, you can see those things burned in your mind.
Of course.
Right? As a kid, you just remember that.
Yeah. Never forget.
Sophomore year, I went out for football, but my mom needed money, so I had to quit football.
Okay.
And when I went in to explain to the coach why I was leaving, his comment was, "What are you going to do? Go work in a gas station? Where would that lead you?"
Well, here you are.
You know, like, here I am, dude.
Yeah, here you are at the Herd Fit podcast.
Here I am at the Herd Fit podcast, radio show syndicated 150 markets, radio podcast downloads 750,000 on iHeart.
Yeah, awesome.
It's crazy stuff. But, you know, it just wasn't great. So I kind of, you know, what's the word? I kind of pulled in a little bit, and all I did my sophomore year of high school was work out. But that was the weight machine, you know, where you did the thing with the fixed
cables.
weights. Yeah, the cables and all that.
Yep.
This is real weights.
Yes.
This is very different.
Yeah, I mean, we get asked all the time, not all the time anymore, but back when we first opened, we had a lot of people that would come in and look at the gym, and CrossFit was still kind of unknown back in 2014 to most people. And one of the first questions we always got from people, like, where are the machines? Like, you know, they're just so used to seeing the cables, the treadmills, the ellipticals, and our response was always, you know, pretty old school CrossFit answers. You are the machine, right? Yeah. Like, you lift weights, you are supposed to be the machine.
And I think that's what, to me, that's what makes CrossFit what it is. You know, it's like this morning, right? How cold was it this morning?
35 degrees.
I mean, it was like, holy smokes.
Yeah, it was freezing this morning.
You know, it's but if you did that run this morning, and I'm not saying it's bad if somebody didn't do the run, I get that. But if you did that run this morning, you know, that builds your internal resistance. That toughens you up. That helps you get through the day.
Yeah.
You know, I started CrossFit because I knew I had to do something. I said I'll be dead by the time I'm 70. When I'm 70, I'm looking forward to my first muscle up because that's my goal. I'm going to do a muscle up by the time I'm 70.
I think you can do it. If you follow your same trajectory, I think you're going to get that.
That's and you know, that's part of what you have to think about too. This is a game of inches. All right? You know, it sounds funny, but when I started, you know, you get dressed in the morning. How do you put on your underwear? Do you sit down to put your underwear on?
I don't.
Okay. I used to have to sit down to put my underwear on. Yeah. Now I can put my underwear on. I stand on one leg. I put one leg on. I can stand on, I lift the other leg. I don't fall down anymore, which is kind of a pain in the neck in the dark. You know, you're trying to put underwear on in the dark. It's like, it's horrible, but it's the truth, right? Talk about core strength.
Yeah.
And
that's single leg strength.
And that's single leg strength.
Yeah.
I learned that from Dallas when we were doing, was it Dallas?
Oh, yeah. Olympic lifting?
Yeah, Olympic lifting.
Yeah.
We talked about that. And it's all these little things that I can do. I couldn't run. Remember when I couldn't run?
Yes.
I couldn't box jump.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can ever jump rope though. I don't have that coordination. That doesn't.
Never say never, Ron.
Never say never.
Yeah.
But it is on my list.
Yeah.
But you know, why do I CrossFit? Because it's a very unique experience. I think you have to come into this thinking, not, you know, can you do what everybody else is doing? I rarely can do what everybody else is doing, although I am catching up. But I don't do it for that. I do it because it's what makes me, that little thing that I can do inches me further down the ladder.
Yeah.
You know, I write down what I do. I keep a log of what I'm doing. There are some weeks, I regress a little bit. Some weeks I'm a little beat up. My Achilles hurts. My hamstring hurts. But, you know, people say to me, Ron, what are you doing CrossFit for? You can get hurt. You know what? I've heard that from a lot of people. And a lot of people I know that have said that, they get hurt in every walk of life.
Yeah.
You know, they fall off the motorcycle, they fall down the stairs, they trip, they bang their head, they do this. I think you got to know your limits. You know, but you'll learn something every day at CrossFit. Yesterday's WOD, we were doing curls, right? Cleans.
Cleans.
I call them curls. Cleans. High school. Cleans. Right? And I'm behind Nicole. And I'm watching Nicole do her cleans. And I never realized that when I do my clean, I would grab the bar so tight, whether I'm in a panic or not, and I would just hang onto the bar, and it would just strain my wrist.
Yeah. Yep. Catch a little low.
Right.
Find the wrist.
Well, I would never catch it. I would just try to roll my wrist with the bar.
Right.
So yesterday I started to, when I watched Nicole, and I got this from her, when she came up, she pops, and she actually pops the bar, lets the bar go, and then she recatches it.
Yeah.
I started doing that. Holy cow, was it easier?
Wow.
And I could lift more weight.
That's awesome.
But
that's a game changer. When we teach beginners CrossFit, it's so natural to feel like you have to death grip the bar.
Yeah.
But you have to let it kind of roll back to the fingertips a little bit.
And just hang on to it.
Yeah.
That's my starting CrossFit story. I came in thinking I could conquer the world. I learned I couldn't. And then I decided that if I was going to, I had to get rid of my ego, realize I can't do everything. I can't do everything right away, and just kind of pick at it.
Yeah.
I've done machines. Machines are boring. And then there's the community thing here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's touch on that a little bit. Let's go we'll definitely get back into the physical part of this because that's part of what we definitely want to touch on. But the advantages of being around a group of people. You can use Bison as an example, or you can use any CrossFit as an example for this. Is being around of like-minded individuals that respect each other, support each other, and work hard together. What's that like?
It's an unbelievable experience. There's more positivity in this gym, and I imagine it's at other CrossFit gyms too. I've never been anywhere else to compare. But, stand around in a garage and listen to a bunch of mechanics bellyache all day long about the next crappy car they got to work on. All right. And I kind of look at them and I go, that's your bread and butter. That's your livelihood. You should be happy to be here. You're upright. You're walking around. You're not hurt,
Right.
I come to this gym and it doesn't matter what I do. I get a fist bump.
Yep.
It doesn't matter what I do. People help me put my weights away. A couple of weeks ago, we were doing those long runs, and I was really shot at the end of that workout.
I remember.
And you remember, because when I came back, and Ryan and Nicole said, "Come on, we're going to go run with it. We want to make sure you come back in one piece."
Yeah.
And I did. I came back 2 minutes after the workout ended, and I collapsed in the door. But I finished my workout.
Yeah.
And I felt good during the day because I had done something I had never done before. Did I do it RX? No. Did I do it as good as everybody else? I did it at my level.
Yeah.
And that's, that's the CrossFit experience. If I went to a gym, we're all going to ride the same bike. We're all going to, we're all going to do jazzercise. We're all going to do, the same treadmill. And, I don't need a lettuce cocktail to help me feel better. That's not what that's about.
Yeah.
The thing that I admire the most about you, Ron, and also I want listeners to know, it's not just all wine and roses. You have the same path to progression that many of us do. You have injuries. Like for a while, your foot was really bothering you. Yeah. Health issues that you got to deal with. But you always came back. I would remember seeing you at 5 a.m. and you were always there for a while. And then for a while, you're not. And I'd see you back again, and you're like, I had this foot thing, and but now that's getting better, and I'm taking care of that, and I'm coming back. And a lot of people, I'm going to group you with me because, I'm in my 50s, so of our age, we'll start something, and when we have setbacks, something new like this, it will stop because it's hard. This is not easy. Who wants to wake up and go to the gym at 5 a.m. every day? That's a real challenge. But your personality is such that you slog through it, whatever setbacks you've had, because CrossFit is like life. Like nothing it's not like a steady progression. Your clean weight just keeps going up and up and up. No, like you said, some days it's just not there. Right. Some days you get hurt or you're feeling not so great, but you keep going. And I think that is really the true lesson that I take from you, is that I don't care where I am with it or how I'm feeling or what's going on. I'll do the best that I can, and I'll keep going, and I'm not going to quit just because something happens to the injury.
It's just a setback.
Yeah.
When I had to quit football to go to work in my sophomore year, I remember if the coach left me with one positive thing, because it was a lot of negativity, he rode my ass for the next 3 years. He said, you can't get into the habit of quitting things, because if you get into the habit of quitting things, it becomes a lifestyle. And I never forgot that. It got me through college. It got me through, building a business, buying a building, moving the business, growing a radio show. It's almost like I'm afraid to quit because I'm afraid to stop. Once I stop, you get in that habit. It's a bad habit to get into. Do I take breaks? Yeah. Do I snitch a soda once in a while? Yeah. I had pizza yesterday. Nobody's going to come to the house and arrest me. I'm just going to have to pay for it on Monday when I come back to run or whatever we're going to do. What are we doing?
Burpees Monday.
And listen, sometimes I change things up, and I think everybody has to realize that, So I used to come 5 days a week. Now I come 4 days a week. I do Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Well, I actually used to come because I'd come Saturday morning, but I was beating myself to death.
Right. So let's talk about that real quick. Like, this is something I think a lot of people could relate to. It's like, because I just had a conversation with someone about this actual topic yesterday morning after class. They always want to feel like they're inching up, like another victory by inches, right? Coming in every single day and just getting a little bit better. At what point did you realize, and how did you realize that sometimes doing that much volume, that much work could actually kind of send you backwards?
Listen, I'm used to getting up in pain every day, not because of here, but because of what I do.
Right.
It's a very physical job. You're on concrete 12 hours a day. So I'm used to getting up in the morning and being so stiff I have to kind of hobble around for the first 10 minutes to warm up. That's normal. I've been doing that for 20 years.
Yeah.
I realized when I got to the point where I wasn't as effective even at scale that, I just wasn't, I just didn't feel good.
Right.
But it doesn't mean you stop. It just means, it's like a car. The car's not running 100%. Do you get rid of the car? No, you got to tune it. You got to tweak it a little bit. You got to change something. I realized that, maybe, maybe all those burpees, if my feet hurt, maybe all those burpees on Wednesday isn't a great idea. 2 weeks ago, we did the warm up. We were jumping on the 25-pound plate. And the next day, my Achilles heel on my right foot was killing me. Today, when we did the warm up, I didn't use the plate. I just did jumping air squat kind of things, like jumping jacks almost. And it warmed me up. It was good.
Yeah.
You just got to know and you got to know your body. You got to know what you're trying to achieve. It's not working harder. It's like fixing a car. It's working smarter.
Yeah.
And you gotta limit what you do. Last week we were doing squats. I'm up to a 245 back squat now.
Nice.
I can do that in 2 reps.
Big time.
I think I got 260 in me.
Wow.
Well, you'll have the opportunity. We still have another couple months of squatting.
So and I was gonna go to 260, but I had done my 3, and I'm squatting with Andy, and Andy's and I'm like, okay, I'll wait.
No peer pressure here.
Yeah, no, but I look around at the gym now, and I guess I've been here a while, and I see the newbies coming in.
Yeah.
And I try to be positive. I try to be encouraging. Because there's a lot of social stuff here at a gym in this setting.
Yeah.
Everybody's a little awkward. We all got our social masks on. We're trying to not look stupid.
Yeah.
I don't care. I've looked stupid before. I'll look stupid again. I'm going to make mistakes. I've learned. That's what it is. But just to keep plugging away. Just don't worry about if the weights on your barbell are the smallest ones in the gym. Hell, I used to work out with no weights on my barbell.
And nothing would stop you even now if something was bothering you and you didn't feel it. You would have no issue or hesitation in taking that weight off the bar and just moving it to the barbell.
And I've done it.
Yeah,
I've done it. I've changed in the middle of the workout. I go, yeah, this doesn't feel right. I'm killing myself. I'm going to get hurt, or I'm going to make this worse. And it's getting there. You know what? My shoulder's actually getting better because I've been working. My left shoulder's been beat up. If I went down the list of places that are sore right now, but the problem is I can't tell you if it's my age. I can't tell you if it's from the gym. I can't tell you if it's from work. It's what I am. Why do I keep coming to CrossFit? Because what's the alternative? I'm going to go to a gym. I guarantee I'm going to come off of a rower, a bike, or a treadmill, and I'm going to hurt just as much. But you know what? It's really cool when you hang out with all your buddies that you went to high school with. Yeah, I got to get up. I got to go to CrossFit at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
Oh,
how many of them are saying that?
Right. Like, what are you coaching? No. What are you sweeping the floor? No, I got to work out with the kids. It's I got to go do this.
Yeah.
Oh, really? You do CrossFit? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome.
I
think also just like listening to you, like you definitely are a pretty deep thinker and you reflect a lot on what CrossFit does for you and honestly what you do for CrossFit. And I think one of the things that you do for our gym is Ron will write kind of like a Dear Diary in our private Facebook group for our members to read. I mean, everyone would say on average, I don't know, once a month we'll read something, and I'm going to read one of them. And this is for everyone to read, and it's probably 10 sentences top. So Here we go. Dear Diary, quite the workout week. It has been a real honor to sweat so much in the shadows of all of our service people from all branches and all walks of life. Today, I almost finished the 7 rounds of Ananian, and I asked myself driving home, what did I learn today and up to this point in my efforts to get fit? I can tell you in 2 words, a lot. I found out there is success and failure. Well, actually not finishing isn't a failure. It's a learning cycle. It tells me what I need to work on to get stronger and better. And I am. Every time I get up from a chair or lift something heavy at work or any one of the 100 everyday tasks, I realize now how much easier and effortlessly it is done. What a struggle my life was till I found CrossFit. The positive and let's fucking go attitude, LFG, attitude stretches beyond my time at Bison. It is every day, every minute. And like my work day, and I cut back where I have to, but still do my best to get the job done. As we head into the end of the week with Murph coming up, I am so excited to do that Monday, old man or not. Thanks, Diary, for listening, LFG.
You know, when I work out sometimes, and especially around Murph and some of the other holidays, and we honor the veterans and those that have served and continue to serve, it blows my mind when I think about how hard those people have worked, how hard the World War II generation worked, how hard all the generations have worked. I think about, for some reason my mind goes to this at times. I think about how hard those kids worked to storm the beaches of Normandy, never make it off the beach. I mean, 2 years of working out and, to take care of me, to defend our country, to maintain our way of life. And so you know what? You got to put it in perspective. They had to do it. They had to be in the best physical shape of their life. And what payback did they get? What reward did they get? I guess there was a personal reward for them at their own level. When I come to the gym to work out, I don't have to achieve anywhere near the physical fitness of what they did,
Mm-hmm.
But it's for me.
Yeah.
That's my reward. I feel better. I can sit there and, it's the truth when I wrote that. And it's still true today. I feel better having worked out. I hope all the newbies that come in, they just stick with it, that they realize, you're not going to move the marker that fast. And sometimes you're going to move the marker backwards. The gym, coming to the gym, because my wife and I talk about it because she kind of doesn't get it either. Sorry, honey. She won't watch anyway. She hardly listens to the show. I talk about her on the show. Nobody. Sue who? I go, oh, no, it's not you. Don't worry. I wasn't talking about you. My kids get it. My kids understand why I do it. But it's I guess, you got to have the drive. You got to want to do this. If you want to be better, it's going to happen. It just takes time.
I was going to ask you this, and I think you were going to tie into this about the growth of CrossFit. So you are a unique personality, and I know a lot of unique personalities in our gym who really do have that drive. They have that stick-to-itiveness. They have grit. But trying to grow CrossFit and get more people into it, you're right. I have a lot of friends and family members, and trying to get them into CrossFit would not be a very fruitful task. Not that they don't have grit or drive or whatever, but is CrossFit for everyone? And what do you tell your friends? And how do you, are you someone who tells people they should be doing CrossFit? What is your approach to others who aren't doing it around you? Because they see you as someone who is unique and CrossFit and a badass, and CrossFit is scary.
Yeah, and I've had those conversations with friends and family, and customers. They come in at the shop when we're talking, and it comes up in conversation. I think CrossFit is for everybody. I think at some level. Do I think everybody's going to, in 5 years do muscle ups? I don't know. I don't think so. I think the idea of CrossFit to me is it comes back to functional fitness. You know what functional fitness is? I'm 66 years old. Some guy rolls in with an Escalade and he's got 20-inch wheels on it. You know how heavy a 20-inch tire is? It's got to weigh 75 pounds. And you got to walk up to the thing, take the lug nuts off, and and you pick it up and you're walking around the shop and you put it on the back. That's functional fitness. Could I do that working out at a gym? I don't know. I don't think so. I don't see, the endurance, the physical and the mental toughness. And that's something we don't really talk a lot about. There is a mental toughness. It improves your mental conditioning doing CrossFit. Like I said, I've done the gym, the big box gym routine thing, treadmills and bicycling and so forth. That didn't make me mentally tough. This makes me mentally tough because I can walk out of here with my head held high that I did something.
Accomplished.
Yeah, never mind my age group. Just a lot of people younger than me aren't doing, can't do.
Yeah.
So how would I sell it to them?
Yeah.
Hey, try something different. You know, I ask people, I say, how do you feel? I feel like crap. Okay. You want to feel better? Yeah. Do you ever think about going to the gym? Yeah, but the gym is boring. Well, I got something for you because trust me, it's like, you know, if you get bored in this place, being bored at CrossFit is kind of like driving a muscle car with no seatbelt at 90 with your head hanging out the window going, you know, if you don't pay attention, a friend of mine's got a real 66 Shelby GT350, right? I once asked Jimmy, I said, Jimmy, what's it like driving Blue? You know, he says, Blue is always trying to kill you. And if you're not paying attention, she's like, oh, look at that telephone pole. Bang. You know, and that's kind of like what the gym is like, right? The gym is sort of like driving a muscle car at 100 miles an hour, not paying attention. You can't one finger an old muscle car going down the road. A new one you could. And that's what the gym is like. If you're not paying attention when you got 245 on your back, if you're not paying attention when you're trying to do a snatch, or if you're not paying attention when you're just running on the road.
Yeah.
You know, the other day I turned and I wasn't paying attention and oh, look, there is a car there. You know, the worst was when we did the 800-meter run. Thank God I started to run. The 800-meter run, and we go around the block and we got on the other side of the block and I came around the side and there's 4 deer. And I'm like, look at this. I'm going to get run over by Bambi. You know, I didn't even tell you. And because I'm slower and I'm last on the run, all the deer watched everybody go by and they're like, okay, and you can see them. They're all like, okay, let's see who this guy is. Like, you know, this must be the slow guy. You know, we always eat the last guy because he's the least fit of the herd. But I got by. You know,
They gave you one.
Yeah, they gave me one. They let me go. It's different.
That is true. There are no training wheels in CrossFit. You do have to bring your mind as well as your body into it.
You got to bring your mind.
Yeah, I think that's one thing that from the outside, if there was one message that I could have get into everyone's head that's on the outside and at some point wants to try something new in the fitness industry, it would be, it has less to do with your physical ability and capacity and more to do with your mindset.
Right.
Like if you make up your mind that you're going to come in and put your best foot forward, check the ego at the door, be coachable, it'll be a program that works for you.
Yes.
And it has nothing to do with what you can and cannot do physically.
It has nothing to do with physical strength. It really doesn't. It has nothing to do with physical strength. It has nothing to do with capability and coordination. I think you develop all that. I think your mental attitude helps build your physical attitude and your physical presence. You know, I didn't even realize it. Marco pointed it out to me one day.
Yeah.
Remember Marco?
Yeah.
Marco, where are you?
Yeah.
And Marco pointed it out to me one day. He came to the 6 a.m. and I'm finishing up 5 a.m. and I'm carrying the barbell back in my right hand. You know, and I'm kind of, and he's like, look at you. I said, what? He goes, look at what you're doing. And I went, oh, yeah, crap. Look at this. I can carry the barbell in one hand now.
Yeah.
You know,
Not easy.
like,
not easy to carry a barbell with one hand.
And I got the weights in my other hand. And I'm going, I guess but that's
Soon you're going to show up wearing a tank top to the gym.
you never know. I'll get a Rocky tank top.
Let's go.
I like your Rocky t-shirt. It's one of my favorite, actually.
You know, the Rocky story stuff is because, you know, in my generation, Rocky was a big thing. And I used to psych myself up. You know, I'd have to go to work at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning to get the business going, you know, 30 years ago. I've been fixing cars 50 years. Start doing the math. It's scary. And I would walk out the door, you know, da, 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 da. When I started CrossFit, my kids bought me Rocky t-shirts. They said, you're going to be Rocky. You know, you're going to, you know, you're 1,000,000 to 1 shot. You're going to make this happen. And, you know, that's what that's about. It's nothing more, nothing less. But again, you know, that state of mind. I'll look down at that Rocky t-shirt or any one of the t-shirts, you know, rub some dirt on it. Old men don't take, or what does the one say? Real old men don't take naps. Real old men lift steel and then take naps. You know, that's all mindset. That's all, you know, how tough are you? How bad do you want this? You know, I'm done being a pushover. I don't want to be a pushover. I want to be physically fit. I don't want to take crap from anybody. And and some of that's in there.
Hell yeah.
I want to do boxing. Can we do boxing?
Yeah. Next Tuesday, Vlad. So give me this. If what would you say if you were sitting across the table from someone and they were on the brink of either quitting, stopping, and you're having a conversation with them, and they have all these different excuses. What would you want to say in your most honest state? No sugarcoating. You know,
Are you happy where you are in life?
Yeah.
Are you happy with how your life is turning out? You know, because CrossFit, the mentality for CrossFit is beyond just I got to get up at 5 a.m. and go to the gym and try and do these great big things. You know what? There's a regiment involved in life. To be successful in life, you have to be organized. You have to be responsible. You have to be driven. And you can take all of that and apply it to CrossFit. And at the end of the day, if applying that to CrossFit makes you physically fit, more physically fit than what you are, and, you know, aren't you better off? You know, it's kind of like, are you better off with CrossFit than you are without it? Because what's the alternative? If the alternative is CrossFit or nothing, all right, yeah, that's probably not going to work too long. You know, it's like, I want to be on the planet at least another 35 years, and then I'll decide what I want to do next. You know, the people that, and I get it. I get why people want to quit, because they're looking for, you know, we talked about this, you know, they want to be sexier, they want to be stronger, they want to be able to wear a tank top after 2 weeks, you know, after eating hot dogs and donuts for 35 years, you know. It doesn't work like that. Yeah. There's no fast food in life. There's no fast path to good physical fitness.
Yep, agreed.
You know, and that's really the bottom line. If I had to convince somebody, I'd say just do less. Try it, keep going, do less. You know what? And I would ask them, are you keeping a log? Are you writing down what you can do now versus what you could do a month ago, 2 months ago, 3 months ago? If the answer is no, I got to tell you, you're just showing up.
Great idea.
You know what? You've been trying, but you've been disorganized about it. Start writing stuff down. I know where my numbers are. I'm so excited to go back squat again, or I want to get back to doing cleans again, curls. Cleans again. Yeah, curls.
The girls.
You know, so that's what I would tell them. It's if you're quitting, I tell you what my coach told me in my sophomore year, once you start quitting, it's a bad habit to break.
What do you do outside the gym now in terms of your lifestyle? Is it good? Is it bad? Like, how do you live your nutrition and sleep and everything else that, you know, sort of makes up your health?
Nutrition is hardest, right? You know, we live in the food capital of the world here. You know, it's like, I think I would be skinnier if I lived out in Oklahoma, because there's no pizza, there's no bagels, there's no, you know, I did a season of television or two for networks about 20 years ago. We were doing TV down in Knoxville. And, you know, and the first night after the shoot, they you know, and we're going to pick you up at, you know, 7 o'clock. And we got bagels from Panera's tomorrow. And I'm like, wow, really? Like,
That's it.
I'm like, you know, I don't want to hurt their feelings, but I'm like, listen, I'm from New Jersey. You kidding me? Got a bagel store in every corner.
Real bagels too.
Real bagels, you know, so it's hard. I try to cut out bread. You know, bread has wheat. I try to stay away from wheat. Do I snitch a soda a week? Yeah, I have a Dr. Pepper here and there, but I don't, you know, I don't guzzle. I don't have more than one. Tonight for dinner, I had a cheeseburger, which was a burger, some cheese. I had a pickle. I cheated. For dinner, I had my bread. I had an English muffin bun, and I had a bottle of Perrier, and that was dinner.
I love that. That's a cheat. Like,
Yeah,
to have a
you know.
to have bun with your cheeseburger.
Yeah, that's my cheat.
How much how much thought did you start putting into the nutrition side
A lot.
after you started CrossFit in contrast to before? Like night and day.
Listen, night and day.
Because it's a lifestyle, right?
Well, it's a lifestyle, and because you're sitting there, you're putting that donut in your mouth going, God, this is 20 burpees. You know, there's no way. You know, it's like you start weighing it out. Is it worth the burpee? Is it worth the mile run? You know what? I want to, you know, it's, and as you get older, you know, listen, no lie, right? As you get older, I want to live to see my grandkids. I'm going to have a granddaughter. My first granddaughter's coming in February.
Congratulations.
Having a baby. I want to live to see that. I want to be here to help raise that kid and teach that kid about the world.
Yep.
You know, I want to be the elder. You know,
I think that's so important for so many people to hear. Like you don't have to go into talking about CrossFit with your current, you know, bathing suit size or what you look like. It could be like if you have kids or you're gonna have grandkids or at some point you want to be around for people, like what you do will matter 15, 20, 30 years from now when the kids are older.
You know, we as the adults, I have a responsibility to the next group.
Yes.
I have to leave the world a better place than I found it. And the only way I can do that is to explain to them, here's the things I did wrong. Here's the things I did right. Here's what I think you should do. An elder is supposed to impart wisdom. I mean, that's what you're supposed to do. That's your obligation. That's what you're supposed to do. You know, like they say, you're supposed to leave the world a better place. You know what? Not to be corny or anything, I've watched my kids be born. you know what? To watch the miracle of birth and see that happen, there's more to life than just what we physically see here. There's a higher being of some magnitude. He didn't put us here by accident. You know, to make it better, I think that's our obligation.
I agree.
Live longer. You got to do CrossFit. It's that simple. It really is. It's just that simple. Do it at some best I got, Davey.
Yeah, that's awesome. Love that answer.
You know.
All right. Well, hey, Ron, thanks so much for coming on, dude. This was even bad. We were both so excited for this. We've been talking about this for a long time.
Well, I'm honored to be here.
And
really
this was even better than I was even hoping it would be. And you know, I know you're a busy guy and you are a celebrity. This might be one of the most famous people we've had on the podcast. And we really do appreciate your time.
You know what's weird? And I'm really just so glad to be here. Listen, I love coming to this place. I really do.
Love having you here.
It's the acceptance. It's it's like I go out on the run and like this morning, way to go, Ron. Way to go, Ron. Way to go, Ron. You know, it's although it does work against me because, well, what was it, last week we were doing the run and my foot was shot and you were like, yeah, do half the run, and then the kids took me out there and I'm like, all right, I guess I got to do the whole run now. Oh, we look up to you. All right, I'll do the whole run. But
now, I mean, as much impact that you feel Bison has had on your life, I think you have a very equal impact on Bison and its people and everyone that's listening. Definitely me as a coach, definitely love having you here. It's humbling to have people like you at the gym because, without stories like you, without people like you, I don't think this place exists. I really don't.
Thank you. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. It's an honor to be here with you guys. It really is. So,
all right. Thanks, Ron. And we'll see you guys next time. That was awesome, Ron. It's almost like you're pretty comfortable on the mic.
Thank you, everybody, for taking the time out of your day to listen to the Herd Fit podcast. Be on the lookout for next week's episode.